To read Chaitanya, Charitamrita every evening this time. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So, a continuation of the reading of Madhya-lila, chapter 21, verse 16. The spiritually powerful message of God can be properly discussed only in the society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto. If one actually has the seed of transcendental emotion in his heart, the symptoms will be visible in his activities. That is the verdict of all the revealed scriptures. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior: forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to the descriptions of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is, a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called anubhav, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in the person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. These 2 verses are found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. If love for Krishna in a seedling state has fructified in one's heart, one is not agitated by material things. O Brahmins, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul, and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahmin created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, spoken by Maharaj Parikshit while he was sitting on the bank of the Ganges, expecting to be bitten by a snake bird summoned by the curse of a Brahmin boy named Shringi, who was the son of a great sage named Samika. News of the curse was conveyed to the king, who prepared for his imminent death. Many great saintly persons, sages, Brahmins, kings, and demigods came to see him in his last days. Maharaj Parikshit, however, was not at all afraid of being bitten by the snake bird. Indeed, he requested all the great personalities assembled to continue chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu. Not a moment should be lost. Every moment should be utilized for Krishna or connected with him. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit's expression of anxiety is explained in this verse. He says, let whatever is destined to happen take place. It doesn't matter. Just let me see that not a moment of my time is wasted without a relationship with Krishna. One has to tolerate all obstacles on the path of Krishna consciousness, and one has to see that not a moment of his life is wasted outside of Krishna's service. With their words, they offer prayers to the Lord. With their minds, they always remember the Lord. With their bodies, they offer obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicated their whole lives to the Lord's service. Purport. This verse is from Hari Bhakta Sudoi Doi. It's found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the material field, people are interested in material enjoyment, mystic power, and sense gratification. But these things do not appeal to the devotee at all. King Bharat was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is called Uttama Shloka, because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. In his youth, King Bharat gave up his attractive wife and children, as well as his beloved friends and opulent kingdom, just as one gives up stool after passing it. Purport. These are the signs of virakti, detachment, found in a person who has developed bhav, the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto. Although a pure devotee's standard is above all, he still considers himself to be in the lowest stage of life. Bharat Maharaj always carried affection for Krishna within his heart. Although Bharat Maharaj was the crown jewel of kings, he was still wandering about and begging alms in the city of his enemies. He was even offering respects to chandalas, low-class men who eat dogs. This is a quotation from the Padma Purana. A fully surrendered devotee always hopes that Lord Krishna will be kind to him. This hope is very firm in him. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge, or pious activities, nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope is always giving me pain. Purport. This verse is found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to associate with the Lord. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wonderful within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness, and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in a solitary place. But how can this be accomplished? This is a verse from Krishna Karnamrita. Due to having great relish for the holy name, one is inclined to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra constantly. O Govinda. This youthful girl named Radhika is today constantly pouring forth tears like nectar falling from flowers as she sings your holy name in a sweet voice. This verse is found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. At this stage of bhav, a devotee has awakened the tendency to chant and describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He has attachment for this process. O my Lord, the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet, and his face is even sweeter than his body. But his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is sweeter still. This is a verse quoted from Bilvamangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. A devotee absorbed in ecstatic emotion for Krishna always resides in a place where Krishna's pastimes were performed. O Lord, Pundarikaksha, while chanting your holy name with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the bank of the Yamuna? This verse is found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction or bhav for Krishna. Now, let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. O Sanatana, please hear this from me. Even the most learned man cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. Even the most learned scholar cannot understand the activities and symptoms of an exalted personality in whose heart love of Godhead has awakened, also found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated, and chants just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. Love of Godhead increases and is manifested as affection, counter love, love, attachment, sub-attachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. One should understand that just as the taste of sugar increases as it is gradually purified, so when love of Godhead increases from rati, which is compared to the beginning seed, its taste also increases. According to the candidate possessing these transcendental qualities, sneha, mana, and so on, there are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, rati, or attraction, is thus described. The real symptoms of the fructification of the seed of love, or rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. When such symptoms are found among speculators and fruitive actors, they cannot be accepted as real symptoms of attachment. Foolish people, without knowledge of devotional service, praise such symptoms of attachment even when they are based on something other than a desire to serve Krishna. However, one who is expert in devotional service calls such symptoms rati abhas, a mere glimpse of attachment. These 5 transcendental mellows exist permanently. The devotee may be attracted to one of these mellows, and thus he becomes happy. Krishna also becomes inclined towards such a devotee and comes under his control. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second canto, it is stated, these moods or bhavs bring under the control the favorable ecstasies such as laughing and unfavorable ecstasies such as anger. When these moods continue to remain as kings, they are called sthayi bhav, or permanent ecstasies. Continuous ecstatic love for Krishna is called permanent ecstasy. When the permanent ecstasies, neutrality, servitorship, and so on, are mixed with other ingredients, devotional service in love of Godhead is transformed and becomes composed of transcendental mellows. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the following definition is given. Love for Krishna, Keshava, as previously described, reaches the supreme state of being composed of mellows when its ingredients are fulfilled. By means of Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvik, and Vyabhichari, hearing and chanting are activated, and the devotee is able to taste love for Krishna. Then, attachment for Krishna or permanent ecstasy, Sthayi Bhav, becomes the mellow of devotional service or Bhakti Ras. Permanent ecstasy becomes a more and more tasteful transcendental mellow through the mixture of special ecstasy, subordinate ecstasy, natural ecstasy, and transitory ecstasy. Yogurt mixed with sugar candy, black pepper, and camphor is very palatable and tasty. Similarly, when permanent ecstasy mixes with other ecstatic symptoms, it becomes unprecedentedly tasty. There are two kinds of particular ecstasy, vibhav. One is called the support, and the other is called the awakening. The vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of the awakening, and Lord Krishna himself is an example of the support. The subordinate ecstasies are smiling, dancing, and singing, as well as different manifestations in the body. The natural ecstasies, such as being stunned, are considered among the subordinate ecstasies, or anubhav. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, vibhav is described as follows. The cause bringing about the tasting of love for Krishna is called vibhav. Vibhav is divided into two categories, alambana, support, and udipana, or awakening. In the Agni Purana it is stated, that which causes love for Krishna to appear is called vibhav. That has two divisions, alambana, in which love appears, and udipana, by which love appears. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the following is stated. The object of love is Krishna, and the container of that love is the devotee of Krishna. Learned scholars call them alambana, the foundations. Similarly, udipana is described as follows. Those things which awaken ecstatic love are called udipana. Mainly, this awakening is made possible by the qualities and activities of Krishna, as well as by his mode of decoration and the way his hair is arranged. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also gives the following further examples of udipana. Krishna's smile, the fragrance of his transcendental body, his flute, bugle, ankle belt, and conch shell, the marks on his feet, his place of residence, his favorite plant, tulsi, his devotees, and the observance of fasts and vows connected to his devotion all awaken the symptoms of ecstatic love. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describes anubhav as follows. The many external ecstatic symptoms are bodily transformations which indicate ecstatic emotions in the mind and which are also called udbhavasana, are the anubhavs or subordinate ecstatic expressions of love. Some of these symptoms are dancing, falling down, rolling on the ground, singing and crying very loudly, bodily contortions, loud vibrations, yawning, deep breathing, disregard for others, the frothing of saliva, mad laughter, spitting, hiccups, and other similar symptoms. All these symptoms are divided into two divisions, chitta and chepana. Singing, yawning, and so on are called chitta. Dancing and bodily contortions are called chepana. In his Anubhasya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur quotes the following verse from the Vedic literatures describing Udbhavasvara, the ecstatic symptoms in the external body of a person in ecstatic love are called Udbhavasvara by learned scholars. Some of these are a slackening of the belt and a dropping of clothes and hair. Others are bodily contortions, yawning, a trembling of the front portion of the nostrils, heavy breathing, hiccuping, and falling down and rolling on the ground. These are the external manifestations of emotional love. Stamba and other symptoms are described in Madhya Lila. There are other ingredients, beginning with complete despondency and jubilation. Altogether, there are 33 varieties, and when these combine, the mellows become very wonderful. Purport. Nirveda, harsha, and other symptoms are explained in Madhya Lila. The transitory elements, vyabhichara, are described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. There are 33 transitory elements known as vyabhichari, ecstatic emotions. They especially wander about the permanent sentiments as assistants. They are to be known by words, by different symptoms seen in the limbs and in other parts of the body, and by the peculiar conditions of the heart. Because they set in motion the progress of permanent sentiments, they are specifically called sanchari, or impelling principles. These impelling principles rise up and fall back in the permanent sentiments of ecstatic love, like waves in an ocean of ecstasy. Consequently, they are called vyabhichari. There are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love, which is also known as the mellow of sweetness. Conjugal love excels all the others. The position of neutrality increases up to the point where one can appreciate love of Godhead. The mellow of servitorship gradually increases to the point of spontaneous love of Godhead. After the mellow of servitorship, there are the mellows of friendship and parental love, which increase to subordinate, spontaneous love. The greatness of the love found in friends like Shubal extends to the standard of ecstatic love of Godhead. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur says that the mellow of neutrality increases to simple love of Godhead. In the mellow of servitorship, love of Godhead increases beyond that to affection. Counter love, anger based on love, love and attachment. Similarly, the mellow of friendship increases to affection, counter love, love, attachment, and sub-attachment. It is the same with the mellow of parental affection. The special feature of the mellow of friendship exhibited by personalities like Shubham is that it increases from fraternal affection to counter love, to spontaneous attachment, to subordinate attachment, and finally to the ecstasy where all the ecstatic symptoms continuously exist. There are 2 divisions of each of the 5 mellows: yoga, connection, and viyoga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describes these divisions as follows. In the mellows of Bhakti Yoga, there are 2 stages, Ayoga and Yoga. Ayoga or Viyoga is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. Learned scholars in the science of Bhakti Yoga say that when there is an absence of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, separation takes place. In the stage of Ayoga or separation, the mind is filled with Krishna consciousness and is fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. In that stage, the devotee searches out the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that in that stage of separation, all the devotees in different mellows are always active in thinking of ways to attain Krishna's association. The word yoga or connection is thus described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. When one meets Krishna directly, it is called yoga. In the transcendental mellows of neutrality and servitorship, there are similar divisions of yoga and viyoga, but they are not variegated. The divisions of yoga and viyoga are always existing in the five mellows. However, in the transcendental mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many varieties of yoga and viyoga. The varieties of yoga are thus described. Yoga or connection is of three types: success, satisfaction, and permanence. The divisions of ayoga or separation are described as follows. Ayoga has two divisions, longing and separation. Only in the conjugal mellow are there two ecstatic symptoms called ruda, advanced, and adi ruda, highly advanced. The advanced ecstasies are found among the queens of Dwarka, and the highly advanced ecstasies are found among the gopis. The Adiruda ecstasies are explained in the Ujjvala Nilamani. The very sweet attraction of conjugal love increases through affection, counter-love, love, attachment, sub-attachment, ecstasy, and highly advanced ecstasy, or Mahabhav. The platform of Mahabhav includes Ruda and Adiruda. These platforms are possible only in conjugal love. Advanced ecstasy is found in Dwarka, whereas highly advanced ecstasy is found among the gopis. Highly advanced ecstasy is divided into two categories, Madan and Mohan. Meeting together is called Madan, and separation is called Mohan. On the Madan platform, there are kissing and many other symptoms which are unlimited. In the Mohan stage, there are two divisions, Udgurna, unsteadiness, and Chitra Jalpa, varieties of mad emotional talks. For further information, see Madhya Lila, chapter 1. Mad emotional talks include 10 divisions called Prajalpa and other names. An example of this is the 10 verses spoken by Srimati Radharani called The Song to the Bumblebee, purport. Imaginative mad talks, known as Chitra Jalpa, can be divided into 10 categories: Prajalpa, Parijalpa, Vijalpa, Ujjalpa, Sanjalpa, Avajalpa, Abhijalpa, Ajalpa, Patijalpa, and Sujalpa. There are no English equivalents for these different features of Jalpa or imaginative talk. So we'll finish there and we'll continue tomorrow from text 61. This is like out of this world. It's just out of this world completely. And people say that Prabhupada didn't give the highest.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I mean, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, you can't find the same way.
No. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking to Sanatana Goswami. This is from Lord Chaitanya himself.
I missed the initial bit, but I heard most of, or some of the symptoms and origins of the relationships.
Yes.
And
it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And it doesn't only go deeper in terms of the description, it goes deeper eternally.
Yes.
Eternally. Yes. In every millisecond, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
I mean,
where does that lead to?
I mean, there are some things that you said here, and I think I have to reread it in myself. Is that in the relationship, conjugal relationship, you find all the others in there.
Yes.
And I think today and I think as far as I knew that separation is higher than
Vipala.
Yeah. But I think today you even describe a few more divisions of
Being within separation. Like it's describing there in the last couple of verses, describing the conversation of madness.
Yes.
How can madness be considered to be love of God? But when you look and Lord Chaitanya gave that example of the conversation that Radharani had with the bumblebee.
Yes.
You know, and she had this insane conversation with the bumblebee, where she said you were the unreliable servant of an unreliable master. And
so she was referring to Lord Krishna.
Yeah, we're talking to the bee. And then immediately the bee disappeared. And she went crazy. What if he goes and he tells Krishna what I just said? So she's running after the bee, trying to find the bee. And that's a different level of consciousness completely. It's like we're just scratching the surface.
I mean, one question that arises in, I think, most of our minds is that, like this afternoon, which is quite, today has been a very auspicious and special day, and we're actually here doing the Jiva as well.
Yeah.
So it's very extremely auspicious.
Yeah.
But for us to actually understand how fortunate we are,
we don't.
Is impossible.
We don't.
And all the symptoms you described are real symptoms that you yourself can actually describe.
And Prabhupada describes all of these symptoms as dormant. Dormant. Like he gives the example of the firewood. When you put the fire into the wood stove, the energy and the heat and the light are already in the wood. We just need to bring it out and allow it to come out. And, our situation is also unlimited in terms of love of God. There is no limit.
To appreciate that is it's beyond my comprehension anyway.
It's like another level. Chaitanya Charitamrita Jai. Jai Mahaprabhu Ki Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is our life. Discussing these topics. So we can take a little percentage.
Darshan is at
8:30.
8:30, I think. You guys okay?
Oh, yes.
When is it now?
Time for Prashad.
Is it?
7:30.
Vocal is right there. It's very clear. Turn on. Something baby there. They all feel safe. Yeah. This is their sanctuary. Normally they screen down. They're very scared, yeah. The doctor had an apple and somebody gave him an apple. And he was really enjoying it. He couldn't eat the whole thing, so he managed to break it up and it fell on the ground and he was able to eat it properly. It was too big in his mouth. The juice was just pouring out in his mouth. I think this actually is probably
Shedding time?
no, it's probably